The Big Bang trap is paraded as brilliant, even while it is an illusion that has no substance at its center. However, the Big Bang theory accurately defines the nature of empire. With this theory, the system of empire projects its own platform onto the universe, as if to give its empty platform the appearance of legitimacy, and its inevitable collapse the face of a natural process, which it says is fundamental to the universe itself. With the Big Bang theory, empire says in essence to a struggling humanity, the collapse of your civilization is natural. What winds up, wins down again. There is nothing you can do about it. You are impotent, so don't even bother to try. Just look at us. Every empire that ever was has collapsed. Nobody has yet succeeded in preventing the collapse of empire at any point in history, and of course the collapse of civilization with it. That's built into the nature of the universe. Nobody can alter that. So, just accept the inevitable and lay yourself down to die. This appears to be the modern song. Fortunately, the lyrics for the Empire song are a lie. While it is true that every empire in the entire history of humanity has collapsed itself without fail, it is also true that every collapse of empire resulted from its inherent emptiness within, from its devotion to the entropic dream of gaining riches by stealing. In order to prevent its doom, empire seeks to control the world, to keep humanity small so that it will not rebel, but tolerate the pains of entropy, such as providing ever more bailouts to shore up the thievery. With these sayings, empire lies to society, big time. While no empire has ever survived its defective entropic dream of gaining riches by stealing, whether by trickery, war, or slavery, humanity has been successful a number of times in different places, at evading the resulting doom for its civilization by human destruction under the system of empire. Society has freed itself and its future by unlatching itself from empire and its corrosive platform of universal entropy, with a commitment to the general welfare of the nation and nations. Society has done this by placing itself onto the platform of anti-entropy, the platform of the creative renaissance of human development, the platform of cultural, scientific, and technological progress. On this platform nothing is winding down, except the existence of empire, that by its very nature has no place to exist on an anti-entropic platform. Empire lacks the intention to be creative, with its focus on stealing. Empire has never produced an iota of good for the general welfare of humanity. It enforces thereby its own end. The Big Bang theory needs to be dealt with for humanity to unlatch itself from the entropy of empire, because the theory projects the self-collapsing nature of the system of empire onto the universe. The Big Bang theory is a false theory. It is a fairy tale that has no foundation. It invites society to dream the dream of entropy, the dream of universal depletion. The Big Bang theory, the theory of the inner emptiness of the universe, which it projects onto the universe as if it was real, has the effect that it blocks its opposite, the plasma universe, which is real, from becoming recognized. That's where its danger lies. It seeds emptiness, where there is in reality boundless energy in every respect. The Big Bang's philosophy blocks the brilliant discovery of universal principle for which monumental evidence does exist. By society's understanding that the Big Bang theory is fundamentally false, and that its philosophy of entropy is but a tragically empty, false dream, society unlatches itself from the deadening consequences of the dreaming. By unlatching itself from false dreaming, humanity becomes free to accept the brilliant discovery of the principle of anti-entropy. The principle of cosmic anti-entropy is also humanity's own inherent anti-entropy, for which monumental evidence exists that defines the power in intelligent living in a human civilization, which becomes applied inherently scientifically and progressively with technology, and of course expansively in anti-entropic economics, such as with high-temperature, automated, industrial processes utilizing advanced materials and processes. The Big Bang theory blocks humanity from being human. It is a global suicide contract that has been cleverly dreamed up for the masters of empire as a tool that closes the door on humanity's progressing beyond the anti-entropic base that empire dwells on, the entropic base of fuel-based energy production, privately owned and privately exploited. The Big Bang Theory may have been developed in part for the purpose of keeping humanity empty inside and without hope. The opposite concept, the universally powered concept, the plasma universe concept, was pioneered in the late 1800s by the Swedish electrical engineer Hannes Hoffman. As primitive as the plasma theory was then, the concept was revolutionary. The promise that it held for an infinite energy-rich future for humanity would have rendered the private ownership of the entropic energy resources in the world obsolete, such as the various fuels. One of the pillars of empire would have fallen by the wayside if the anti-entropic energy concept had been further developed to the stage of implementation. The private energy resources are presently deployed in the massive looting of society by the oligarchic system of empire. And so, Hoffman's work, perhaps without him being aware of it, had threatened to pull the rug out from under the system of empire. It appears that the Big Bang Theory was hastily invented and massively promoted to prevent the collapse of empire by the development of society from within, which would normally have occurred. The chokehold on society begins with keeping its center empty, its science. It is said that a great debate had erupted in the 1920s in the halls of empire between H.G. Wells and Bertrand Russell over how the danger to empire of the free development of science can be prevented. It appears that the promotion of the idea of entropy, projected as the nature of the universe, was the chosen path. With it, the system of empire projected its own inherent death model onto the universe, as if no other model does exist or is possible. Empire is an empty hole that drains the resources of the world into its empty center, whereby the world becomes darker and darker until civilization disintegrates. At this point, empire dies with it. Every aspect of empire is entropic in nature by the platform of the universal theory on which it operates. Not a single empire in the history of the world has not collapsed itself with its own entropy. The current world empire is no exception to the inherent self-collapse of an entropic system. It remains standing in the world as but a ring of smoke with nothing of substance at its center. Actually, today's system of empire is worse than just being empty. It is a complex of thievery, poverty, war, food burning, depopulation, nuclear war, and terrorist threats. And worst of all, its fascist nature blocks the recognition of the near ice age that is now before us. The ultimate form of entropy, built into the Big Bang concept, is its choking effect on science that prevents the recognition of the near ice age and its consequences. The extreme lack of scientific recognition prevents the building of the needed infrastructures in the tropics for the future existence of humanity. Under the Big Bang chokehold on science, 99% of humanity stands poised to starve to death when the Ice Age begins anew. Potentially in the 2050s, only the honest recognition of the science of the plasma cosmology can prevent the consequence that few will survive. The entropic Big Bang explosion that theorizes a beginning before which there was nothing, thereby inspires an end for everything. It is a cleverly contrived small-minded concept that appears to have been intentionally staged to induce small-minded, empty thinking into cosmology as a means for keeping a lid on the progressive development of the plasma universe concept that the system of empire cannot survive, which, as of old, will take humanity to the grave with it if humanity remains latched onto this empty system. That's the choice before us. Should we not rather choose the anti-entropic heaven of grand discoveries that spark a revolution built onto the creative and productive power in society, expanding into all directions? That's where the human bang is located, the real Big Bang. This is the choice before us, which the Ice Age challenge should inspire. This choice would spark an explosion of ideas and subsequent creations. For example, with basalt as the feedstock for a new industrial revolution, and it being shaped in automated high-temperature large-scale industrial processes, we have the power at hand to create the needed 6,000 new cities with ease, for 1 million people each, to meet the Ice Age challenge. And those would be free cities, with free housing for all. Also, the 6,000 new cities could all be built in time to enable the relocation of the northern nations prior to their territories becoming uninhabitable. All of this becomes possible when we choose to step away from the entropy of the dark hole of empire. We can get to the stage of freedom relatively easily by not allowing ourselves to be enslaved to the imperial platform. Once this decision has been made, society will discover its creative power and also relocate all of its endangered agriculture into the tropics before the Ice Age begins, placing it afloat on floating modules made of basalt, interspersed with floating cities that offer universal free housing, and with vast new industries attached that are needed for meeting the human needs. All of this is physically possible right now, with the already developed technologies and readily available energy resources for the utilization of the near-infinite volumes of the highest-grade materials that are sitting process-ready, unused, on the ground. The vast potential for this type of revolution in human living, which is already critically needed in the modern world, is not being blocked by any physical limits, but is blocked by the devil of entropy in the kingdom of empire that, in its numerous ways, rules the world. In the shadow of this blocking of humanity, civilization is fast breaking down. It is choked by the composite devil of empire and entropy that operates as a single package. The result is the collapse of civilization towards nuclear war, while humanity's vast human potential remains dormant, unrealized, and its future is squandered and is becoming potentially lost. This tragedy is not what our choice should continue to be, which leads to extinction in several ways. Our present stage is precarious, indeed, but it is so only because the spark in the heart has not yet exploded into the great world-enriching fire that the term humanity should inspire. When this spark in the heart will awaken and live up to its inherent promise and light the fire in the heart, our civilization will have a wonderful, bright and colorful center that is rich and beautiful and substantial and anti-entropic. Society is presently running away from anti-entropic economics, even while it is the only platform that actually exists for building a civilization on. However, society cannot evade the consequences that ensue when it is running away from this only platform. The entropic platform is not a platform for civilization. It is the platform invented by empire in support of its looting operations. Nor is the entropic platform a platform for economics. It is not designed for building anything on it. It is designed for diminishing everything, for tearing everything to the ground. It is the platform for the money bags that's required for sealing, and for financial derivatives that have the effect of a nuclear bomb in economics. The entropic platform is a power tool for looting that tracks everything, in contrast with the anti-entropic platform that builds everything. Let me illustrate what an anti-entropic platform looks like in principle, that is for building a civilization. The anti-entropic platform is a platform for creating value for human living by applied human ingenuity and productivity. The anti-entropy, the expansion of value in an economy, is in this case the product of intention. The intention is to apply the discovered principle of the nature of the universe to the building of a civilization. The principle that the universe is built on is evidently the most efficient principle. On the resulting platform of intention, society provides to itself whatever financial credits, material, and human resources are required to fulfill its specific needs. Nothing is borrowed here. Nothing is stolen. Every need is met by creative and productive processes. The result gives money its value. Note that the factor of intention is of critical importance here. Anti-entropy in economics is the result of human intention to apply the discovered, efficient principles of the universe to human living. For example, if a bridge across the tropics, with floating agriculture attached to it, is required for society to have a rich and secure future, then a national bank will be founded that provides the financial credits to get the job done. When the job is done, the obligation by society to itself is extinguished. The credit that a national bank would utter for such a project would not be regarded as a debt to be repaid, because the value created for society by the completed infrastructure has at this point already extinguished the obligation by society to itself. That's revolutionary, isn't it? If money is created as credit to get an enriching job done, the resulting value is the object that is intended. Money gains its value subsequently from that. It gains its value from the physical value created that reflects itself in a richer life and society. The richer life is represented by the shaded area, which is the intended value. The process may not even involve the creation of money as credit. Other forms of compensation may be applied to get a job done. The focus is on the intention for physical value to be produced for society, whereby its living becomes richer. The anti-entropy in this process is not located in money itself at any point, but is located in the physical value created by the human creative and productive process. The entire process is driven by the intention to meet the human need, and secondarily by the intention to provide the needed credit, or promise, or commitment to get the job done. This type of economics and civilization will never be focused on what it will cost to create a richer world. It will be focused on the value that can be created for civilization. The key question will then become, what else can we build for us to make our world grander, our living richer, and our existence more secure? And so it will be that increasingly more and more will be built, for ever greater value being created for society. On this anti-entropic platform that increases to productive power, the Ice Age challenge will be met with ease, and may even become a sideline issue. The financial credits that may be uttered to get the job done will of course never be repaid, as the debt has become extinguished when the job is done. That is when the objective has been fulfilled. The revolutionary principle that the debt that society owes to itself to create world-enriching infrastructures will be extinguished when the infrastructures are completed totally eliminates the private estate monetarist platform. No money bag will ever lend a penny on the platform that nothing will be paid back in money, nor any interest that it seeks for profit. The money bag system has a different intention standing behind it, than to seek the development of humanity. Its intention is to swell its bags instead of producing value for society. The intention is to steal instead of producing. The intention renders the money bag system entropic in nature. Trapped by the theory of universal entropy, where nothing is created, gain is sought by stealing. And so on. This characteristic applies to almost all forms of monetarism, from the stock market's wagers to financial derivatives gambling, to international currency speculation, etc. All of these markets are huge, where nothing is produced, though enormous profits are drawn. When profit is claimed where nothing is produced in value, the profit is essentially stolen from the physical living of society. However, the process is of stealing, which diminishes the productive power of society, as the graph shows, also diminishes the value of the stolen loot, regardless of its volume, as it stands as a claim against the product of the collapsing economy. The stolen loot, by consequence, reflects the dead value of the destroyed economy. The bottom line is that the widely held belief in the false theory of entropy has unavoidable entropic consequences, and those are tragically real. That's what is illustrated here. The illustration presents in principle the entropy inherent in the oligarchic monetarist system. Every empire is tied to this collapse function by its very nature. The illustration was developed at around 1995 by the world-renowned American economist Lyndon LaRouche for a presentation at the Vatican. LaRouche illustrated in principle 20 years ago the dynamics that the Western world is experiencing today. Our tragic experience is the result of the general belief in a false theory that has become accepted and assumed to be beneficial, while the opposite is the case. The shaded area between the two curves represents the destroyed economic value by the collapse process. The destruction of value is typical for an oligarchic, imperial, monetarist system. No other result is possible in an entropic system, that the system of empire is, where nothing is created, and everything is doomed to diminish to zero. Every system of empire has doomed itself on this platform, for the simple reason that an entropic system cannot be cured or be maintained. The system of empire is doomed by its own premise. It is also doomed for the related fact that no money bag will ever regard the richer living in society as the proper fulfillment of the terms for credit uttered. The money bag system demands the pound of flesh it claims for profit. In a living world, this claim will never be paid. For this reason, the bag money system will simply vanish off the face of the earth in the near future and be replaced with an anti-entropic love coin system that produces value for society. The key difference between the two types of system, the anti-entropic system presented earlier and the entropic system presented here, is a difference in perceived theories that guides the intention. Every system of empire, regardless of its form, is built on the false theory of universal entropy that invites stealing, which thereby collapses itself accordingly. Nothing can save this system that was functionally dead from the outset. Neither war nor depopulation can save it from its built-in fate. Its doom lays in itself by the entropy that it has built on. Society, however, has the power to unlatch itself from this doom and hasten it. For example, in a gambling arena where $1 to $2 quadrillion are riding the dice, the consequences are world-destructive. For civilization to survive, the entire entropic gambling system needs to be scrapped. And this means scrapping the system of empire in its entirety, including every law that stands in support of it, without fail. The anti-entropic system of economics, which reflects the natural creative principles of the universe and man, offers life instead of doom. In its context, science and cultural development are promoted as elements of the anti-entropic system because science and culture are the key driver for increasing the productive power of society. Real science is anti-entropic. It unfolds the quality of humanity that is without limits. It was asked in ancient times, how can one know what God is? The questioner was asked to look at the tip of his finger. Who does it point to? It points to me. There is your answer, the questioner was told. God is reflected in man. You know no more of God than you know of yourself. So don't belittle God in reaching for the maximum of good, and don't belittle your power in achieving that maximum of good. Here, science begins. With science as a part of you, you can begin to see the universe as it is. And what you see has no limits. The universe is self-powered, expanding, unfolding, and developing itself. And that's what you see when you look at the point of your finger. You see your humanity as the image of God. You see yourself as a part of the process in which you are empowered and are expanding your proof in the world that you have lived and have developed beyond your wildest dreams. Free high-quality housing, healthcare, and education are factors in this process of unhindered advance in science and culture. Free high-quality housing, healthcare, and education are not seen as liabilities in an anti-entropic system, but are seen as opportunities for advancing the creative power of the human being, and thereby of society itself as a whole, which should be promoted and be developed to the highest degree to maximize human living. In an anti-entropic economy, slum living, poverty, unemployment, diseducation, and other forms of deprivation stand as economic crimes against society because they tally up to the deadliest waste possible, the waste of the most precious asset that a society has, which is itself. The question may be asked here, will we get to this point where entropy in economics, and with it, empire, are history? Of course we will get there, because nothing less will enable humanity to meet the Ice Age challenge in the few years that we have still remaining till the next Ice Age starts. We are the supreme being on Earth, second to none. If we won't inspire us to recognize our infinite potential, nothing will, and we will remain doomed. Thus, the present realization of our infinite future is not blocked by any physical limits of the universe or limits on the earth, but is blocked by the smallness at heart that society all too often allows itself to become trapped by. In this the poets have been correct, who have said in countless different metaphors, that the key to the heavens lies in ourselves. It truly lies there, in every respect.